everybody. It's Tim, Horror Movie Yearbook. And I am joined by one Mr.
Willie Gibbs.
Willie Gibbs drinking a banquet.
Yep, having a sip from the banquet. You have a very interesting drink this evening. Tell us about this drink.
Most of the time, I just grab a Modelo and head over. This is a...
You do have Modelo a lot.
Yeah.
My brother's a big Modelo guy.
I like Modelo, yes. Zach?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Good taste. Good man.
Great minds think alike.
This is a rainbow sherbet sour ale.
How is it?
It's gotten better as I've drank it.
Those kind of beers usually do.
Yes.
You need a few sips and you go, all right. You know, like your palate kind of gets accustomed to whatever it is you're drinking. So I told you off air I have a banana bread beer that I've not jumped into yet. But one of these nights...
Are you a banana bread fan?
Oh,
just
I love
in general.
banana bread.
Yeah.
Oh, God. You know what, though? Zucchini bread is better.
Ah, interesting. Yeah, I do like... It's been a long time since I had zucchini bread.
I hate to say it, but it's true.
Yeah.
Zucchini bread is the superior bread.
What'll happen with the banana bread? What happens is I like bananas, but I'll eat them,
sure.
And then every once in a while though, like you'll get too many, or you'll get a bunch, and then you'll get one or two that are left over, and they're like going bad.
Yeah.
And then my wife will go, "Just leave them. I'll make banana bread." And then all of a sudden, like 2 days later, like just a nest of flies have gathered on these things. I'm like, I guess we didn't make this, yeah, because I'm not gonna make banana bread. I'm sorry.
Fruit flies love bananas more than anything on the planet.
Yes.
We accidentally left out some bananas that got kind of buried on our counter at our apartment one time.
Yeah.
And I swear to you, we had like a fruit fly problem for like 2 years after that. I was like, why are you still... Don't understand.
Makes you want to stop buying fruit, but you shouldn't.
No, you should eat your fruit.
Did you see... This is popping in my head because of food. Did you see the guy at the Chipotle in Southfield that shot the worker because of he didn't get his guacamole? So,
I'm sorry.
No. For some reason, I was thinking of food, and this popped back.
This wasn't Florida?
No, this was in Southfield. We have been... I used to go to
that Chipotle?
That Chipotle over
we go there.
Yeah, Greenfield.
Well, we did go there.
Yeah, I've been there
I just
in a long
went
time.
there with Kevin. Like, literally a month ago.
This was this week. The guy apparently did not get his guacamole.
Which sucks. I get it.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
And then... apparently you have to pay extra for it. I guess there was a dispute over paying extra for it.
Well, you don't get guac for free. Come on. That's a premium. Do you get queso for free?
It is premium condiment, yes. Listen, this guy is in the wrong completely.
Well, yeah, he shot somebody.
Yeah, so like he tried to pull someone else's guacamole from behind the counter. Like he went over and another worker came over and like pushed him back. Like, no, you're not going to do that. And he pulled on a gun and shot him in the leg. So it wasn't like he didn't kill him. It's still a gross overreaction.
Was he aiming for the leg, or was he just like a shitty... You know what I'm saying?
It's like a gross overreaction.
Holy
I guess
smokes.
the question to you is, like, have you ever wanted, like, has anybody ever forgot something of yours and maybe you wanted to shoot somebody because of it?
No. But I will say this. There's been many occasions where, like, I've ordered stuff, gone through a drive-thru or whatever, got home because I didn't check the damn bag, and they're missing like a sandwich or something, and it sucks.
A sandwich. I'm thinking of a little place very nearby that I sort of got.
Or a taco.
If you,
yeah, they're terrible.
If the purge was real, if you were allowed to like just open fire on people who forgot something, it would be a war zone at a Taco Bell over there.
They miss stuff every time. It's terrible. Anyway,
I'm not saying you should.
No, you should not. No,
you should not shoot people.
We don't condone
period.
Violence.
But definitely not over guacamole.
But the most upset I've ever been over like stuff missing from my bag is always condiments.
So like,
because like, I can live like I usually order enough food to like when I'm going to like a fast food or something like that. I order more food than I need. I overstuff myself on it because I'm already going there. I might as well.
There's no point. Yeah.
Might as well get gross.
Yeah.
Right. So I order like one item more than what I'm actually going to need to eat. I will eat it all, but like.
Yeah, but you want that one in the back pocket just in case like you're hungrier than you think. Like,
true.
Or, yeah.
But if they miss that one, I'm not going to lose my mind. I just let it go. I'm not driving back up there. Fuck that. Like, nah. But if you miss my hot mustard at McDonald's, if you miss my zesty sauce at Burger King, we've got problems.
I'm trying to think like so at that time like if for some reason, and this would never happen because I think it automatically comes with it, but like there's that sauce, whatever that quesadilla sauce is at the Taco Bell
If
quesadilla.
that's not on there,
If that would never be on there, like I would lose my shit, but not shoot anybody, but like
literally, I thought of Taco Bell because we kind of brought it up.
yeah.
And the first thing I thought of was like, what could be missing? And they never miss like the packets of sauce. They always like dump 40,000 in there, which is great.
We had like half a plastic bag full of packets there from one time. It was almost like they were being dickish to us because we asked for
Yeah,
sauce.
I was like, are you trolling us right now? But so that's not a thing. But yes, I immediately thought of the quesadilla sauce.
Yeah.
If you leave that off, we got problems.
What even is that sauce?
It doesn't matter. It's amazing. It is like magic.
Right.
It's so good. The gordita, is it gorditas or chalupas? I think the cheesy gordita crunch has a really good sauce.
Yes, it does.
Is it the same as the quesadilla sauce though?
I feel like it's tangier than the quesadilla
It's
sauce.
different, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna start looking up like how to make your own shit because there's a whole website.
Oh yeah,
to
you
look
could.
at that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look that up. Anyway, okay. Let's move on.
horrormovieyearbook@gmail.com. Send us an email.
Tweet us.
Tweet us.
X us.
X us. HM Yearbook on Twitter.
Yeah.
Facebook us. What's the other one?
Yeah.
Instagram. Oh, I like Instagram.
Insta's cool. Yeah, we like that. Yep.
I have. You know what? I have a question. I'm going to do this for you.
All right.
We're going to do this.
All
We're
right.
both going to do this.
Here we go.
Yesterday, we've talked about CinemaCon. Oh, and the Tiny Terror, spoiler alert, we talked about CinemaCon a little bit. But Lionsgate had their presentation, and they announced, in partnership with Blumhouse, that they would be making another Blair Witch movie.
Saw that, yeah.
So they didn't really have, there's not much in terms of details, a continuation. But I thought the more interesting thing, and this was in the Bloody Disgusting article about it, they now have access to remake the Lionsgate catalog, and they plan on remaking certain movies from they called them classic Lionsgate films, which makes me feel old. And then it made me start to wonder, like, how many of these are actual classics. But I think I found a couple.
What?
But I guess the question that I want to go through some of these, and I want to know.
They also showed off Smile, too.
That was, today, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to see much. They also announced a Scary Movie reboot.
Yeah, you and I love Smile, though.
We did love the Smile.
The Smile.
The Smile Demon.
He's the best.
So I'm going to list off, and this is pulled directly from Wikipedia, so it's very accurate, but it could be like distributed by Lionsgate, whatever. These are Lionsgate movies, and I want to know if you think these are fertile ground for a remake, a reboot, a legacy sequel, a requel, whatever you want to call them, or if you think like just let the classics live.
All right. Oh God. Okay.
First one I am going to start with, like, I think it's an interesting movie, American Psycho. You think you could remake that, or should remake that?
Could you? Yes. Do you need to? Not really. No.
Yeah.
That's a weird one for me. I never was a big American Psycho guy.
Yeah.
I read the book at some point, and I thought it was kind of gross, but like,
you have to be in the right mindset to enjoy a Bret Easton Ellis work.
Yeah, it was too much for me.
Yeah.
The movie is it is a star-making performance for Christian Bale for sure. Like, no question. Like, there's a reason why he became like a household name. Not from that movie, but like that kind of catapulted him into bigger. Like, he wasn't a child actor anymore. Like,
right.
Remember, he was in Newsies. Like, people forget this.
They kind of got him the Batman part too, if I remember. They got him Bruce Wayne, didn't it? A little, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's a solid film, but like, you could do something different with that. Yes. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think because the thing is, I think it's like the Crow that's coming out.
Yeah.
No matter what you do different than what came before, you're going to be judged based on that original, because the cult following, the American Psycho is a true cult movie. It's still, like, there's not many cult movies left, but like that's one of them. The Crow is kind of a cult movie still.
Right.
Anytime you try to remake or reinterpret a cult film, I just don't think you're asking for trouble.
The other thing too is like I think it works so like you could update it into modern times or like pick like the 2010s or the 2000s.
But
like
the 80s is part of the.
But like that's part of the whole vibe. That's part of the point of the movie. And like if you like, there's no point in updating it because that stuff still works.
It doesn't.
It is.
Yeah.
So okay,
I'm gonna go with no. I don't need that.
This is a weird one. Because this was produced around the same time by Frailty.
No.
Yeah, no, I just had that on there.
No. Yeah, leave it alone. It's great.
This next one, a movie by Lionsgate.
Unless you do a Frailty 2,
like a sequel to Frailty.
Do McConaughey.
Now
you could do some cool stuff with that.
The thing with Frailty is it's such a like a.
I don't want him to touch it, but like you could do.
It's also such a. I don't want to say it's an unpopular movie, but it's got a fan base, but it's a smaller fandom. You know what I mean? Like you can't just announce.
It's not even a cult movie. It's
House of 1,000 Corpses.
No, don't mess with it. Because the thing is, love him or hate him, Rob Zombie is Rob Zombie. The guy's a visionary director. Like there's no question.
Mm-hmm.
Rob Zombie films feel like Rob Zombie films. He is like a true visionary filmmaker. I don't usually like his vision, but that's just me. Like there's a lot of people who love it, and I'm totally cool with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think if Rob Zombie wants to make a new version of like if he wants to go back and like I didn't like the way I did it the first time, I'm not like opposed to that.
It would just be kind of pointless,
but it would feel kind of weird. Yeah.
The next one I feel like they did a couple years ago, but not Blumhouse. Cabin Fever.
Ooh, well, they've done that kind of.
I think so. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes on this one, just because I think it's kind of it's an idea that works anytime. Like it's a pretty basic idea that really just works on how you deliver on certain things like gore and kills. And stuff.
Yeah, you could do a new Cabin Fever. Yes,
and sure. I think people have. I've even forgotten about the one that came out in like 2018.
How many are there?
I would have to go look it up. I think so.
So yeah, you could do another. Yes, I'm fine with that. Yes.
I have this one on here, but I don't even know. Oh, you remember Open Water? I feel like we've done. You just do a shark movie at this point.
Yeah, I mean, like, does Open Water mean anything? Like, as a property, not really.
Cube.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah,
you could make a new Cube movie.
Did make a new Cube movie, but it was Anyway,
well, there were 3 of them.
I feel like there was a recent one, but I don't know
really?
It may have been like I'll have to look it up.
If you remade Cube with a slightly bigger budget and a cast of actors who they don't have to be stars necessarily. I'm not talking about like casting like Tom Cruise in Cube, but like cast a group of people who you're like, well, none of these people they're going to kill off. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, name actors.
Right.
They're not going to kill this person first. Like, but all of them should feel that way. And then you start killing them off, and you go, what? Like, that person's only in this movie for 5 minutes? Like,
there was a Japanese remake a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. Okay, I'm with you. I think you could update Cube.
You could do some cool shit with it.
Yeah, I think Cube is... So Cube...
I like Cube and Cube Zero a lot.
I think Cube and Cabin Fever right now, if we're producers, are like, let's get some things going. Let's get some
Cube
irons
is
in the fire.
for me is the more, yeah.
Here's a Lionsgate film you may remember, Man-Thing. Marvel's Man-Thing.
Well, they don't have the rights to that.
He's
right. Back with the MCU, so we won't even...
High Tension.
Oh,
sorry.
The Lionsgate Man-Thing is such a piece of shit.
It's so bad.
It's so bad. Anyway.
I forgot he's in Werewolf by Night, isn't he? What about... So another Rob Zombie movie, Devil's Rejects. Now, I just had this on here. I was just like listing stuff. Devil's Rejects kind of spins out of his whole...
Go ahead, yeah.
No, it kind of spins out of his whole work. I'm a no on that one, too. And for the same reasons we talked about with House of the
you can't remake that, yeah.
I think the Hostel sequels may have been Lionsgate. I can't remember if the first one was.
You can make a new Hostel.
I think so, too.
100%.
Actually, I think it may work.
100%.
Yeah.
You could do some really interesting stuff with Hostel now.
Mm-hmm.
You could do some interesting social commentary and stuff that's going on overseas.
Yeah.
Overseas for us, I should say. Yeah.
Tamara. Do you remember Tamara?
I do. Not enough to like...
Nah, there's not enough name value there.
Sure.
Yeah.
If you want to make a new Tamara...
See No Evil starring Kane. Remember the See No Evil movie starring Kane?
Oh, my.
Jacob Goodnight?
That's right. They made 2 of them.
The Soska Sisters. By the way, Willie, I'm going to let you know, I watched that Tubi, Festival of the Dead, the Soska Sisters, sequel to Night of the Living Dead.
How's that?
I'm just going to say, we got to stop them. We got to stop the Soska Sisters.
That
They
bad, huh?
they are out of control. They have. I liked them. I liked American Mary. And they have
Lost
let
their
me
minds?
down.
All right.
It's just a bad movie. There are choices these characters make in this movie that I swear make them the most unlikable lead characters. And I'm not like super anti like having unlikable lead
They're
characters.
supposed to be the daughters of
The daughter, I
Ben?
believe, the granddaughter and grandson of Ben.
Okay.
It feels like a script that they had, a zombie script.
This sounds awful.
Yes, it was awful. So,
I will not watch it.
See no evil. Sorry.
See no evil. Yeah, but you got to cast a different wrestler.
Who would you cast? Who's a nice big guy?
Who's the new Jacob Goodnight? I would go
Who are
with
some big, tall
man,
wrestlers?
This is tough. What's that?
Who are some big tall wrestlers?
Oh, no.
Were you thinking a little Braun Strowman?
Yeah, maybe.
Is he still
Yeah,
around?
he'd do good. Yeah. Braun Strowman's good. Yep, he'd be fun. Man. I don't know.
We'll circle
I'm trying to
back.
think of a wrestler that you would cast for
Lance
that
Archer.
role. Lance Archer. I like that. Yeah.
Keep the dreads too.
Give me Lance. Just make it Lance Archer. Screw it.
Okay, interesting one here. The Descent. Would you remake The Descent?
No. But I'd be willing to let Neil Marshall make, and I'm not a fan of Neil Marshall's output as of the last
Recently? Yeah.
15 years, but I would be willing to let Neil Marshall make a sequel style to The Descent.
Yes, and to be clear,
If you remember correctly, there's a daughter
yes,
that dies in the first. She dies too, right? Yeah. But what if there was a family member we didn't see? Somebody who was tied to those.
and they want to
go back and find out.
I'm good with that.
That sounds
that.
kind of cool.
I like that idea.
I'm down.
And I think the Descent has enough of a fan base too. You could get away with that. And to be clear, we don't necessarily. I may have misspoke earlier. I don't know. We don't really know much about the Blair Witch thing. If it's a continuation, what it is, or a reboot.
We're not
completely.
even saying remakes. Just like
Another movie.
reigniting the property.
They made My Bloody Valentine 3. Now, obviously,
I like that movie.
Yeah, me too. I like it better than My Bloody Valentine.
It's better.
I don't think you're going to make another one of those. Would you make another My Bloody Valentine?
Yeah.
These days? I would too.
I would.
I'm going to be honest with you. I think that's a moneymaker if you do it correctly. Throw
I
that
would
thing
do
on
it
out
direct to streaming and just make
yeah,
it fun.
or just like, I mean, get that out. Get those movies out every Valentine's Day.
Do it.
Yeah, that's a good date.
Honestly, low budget.
Yes, low
Cast
budget.
a bunch of people that are on like
Whatever the equivalent of the CW show is now. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Daybreakers.
Yes. I'd watch a new Daybreakers. Yeah.
You would like to see a continuation of Daybreakers?
No, it doesn't. No, like take the concept and just make a new movie with the concept.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be like a continuation of like the plot of Daybreakers, but like that concept is so strong that I think you could just do another movie with that idea.
The Cabin in the Woods. Would you do anything with this?
Yes.
It was Goddard who directed this, right?
Yeah.
He has not been shunned from Hollywood.
Goddard is
as a-
directing.
He was just announced for something the other day.
What was it? It was a big thing. I'll pitch you my Cabin in the Woods.
Okay.
We get Bradley Whitford back, Richard Jenkins back, and we just play a new game.
Oh, he's doing the new Matrix movie. Goddard is.
We just play a new game.
I'd rather see another Cabin in the Woods than another Matrix movie at this point.
I've not seen the fourth. Yeah.
The Cabin in the Woods. I'm sorry. I'm thinking back to the Cabin in the Woods because maybe is this how you bring? Are you bringing Joss back?
No. God no.
Where did he go?
We're okay.
That one interview he
We're
had.
better off.
Remember that interview?
Yeah.
When you're just kind of reading it, going like, hey man, like you could just say like
You're taking no.
You could just like all you have to say is yeah, I messed up, I was a dick, and like people, it's Hollywood.
We'd be like, all right, figure it out, get better.
Yeah, get better, and then come back.
But he's like, no,
it's Hollywood. They'll allow you back. But he gave like one of the more like career damaging.
Yeah. No, he's done. There's no.
Yeah.
He'll do some weird indie thing at some point with like the people that are still friends with him.
I'm curious. I'm
like a Much Ado About Nothing type thing,
or maybe another like I don't know who's closer to him from like Dr. Horrible. You could do another one of those.
He's still I'm not going to out anybody.
I don't know.
He's still friendly with certain people.
Yeah,
I'm not going to out them.
No, we're not gonna
go on the internet. You'll figure it out,
and it's fine. I don't care who's friends with who, but like that interview, man,
it was unreal. I can't believe somebody let that go to print.
Yeah, who's this like PR person? Did he have one?
He probably pissed him off. Yeah, sure, Joss, great. But no, Cabin in the Woods, yes, do another one. Richard Jenkins and Bradley Whitford back in the same roles. Don't de-age them. No one cares. Just have them there. Playing a different game. Focus on those two more so than the survivors or the I guess, losers.
Yeah.
Do it. Yeah.
What about Yo Frankenstein, our final one? I Frankenstein. You want to see more Yo Frankensteins? Starring Aaron Eckhart, I believe.
Aaron Eckhart, who has disappeared also with Joss Whedon. What's the last thing
Aaron Eckhart has been? He was was he not in a dog movie? I feel like he was in like a movie about a dog.
Dude, I don't know. I don't know.
We're both looking. Are we looking up Aaron Eckhart right now?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
you are.
I absolutely am. He was in the last movie I see. Oh, he's in the movie called The Bricklayer last year. So I think he's doing like direct to video action movies, kind of, or straight to streaming action movies at this point.
What happened though? Who did he piss off?
He wasn't
like on the rise.
He wasn't a movie with a dog called Muzzle. It looks like he's like a police dog or something. He's like a policeman and he's a police dog. He was in a movie called Incarnate, a horror movie called
Incarnate. Yes, I remember this. Yes.
It was so bad.
Did you see it?
I believe I did.
Jesus, Tim, you watch everything. I'm proud of you.
I see a lot. I mean, do what makes you happy. All right. Very cool. One quick plug too, before we get started. Yes. I've been doing some stuff on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Trying to get that going. I've got a little bit of free time on my hand, and I've talked about doing it for about a year now. Yeah. But I am trying. You remember, like back in the day, I used to send you like I would make calendars, like Word documents of like what's coming out each month. I'm doing that. And I'm just doing quick little YouTube videos. I'm working on one that'll hopefully be out this week too. That is going to sum up all of the horror stuff from CinemaCon as well.
Nice.
I'm going to try to do some of this. I'm going to try to do some of it on a regular basis. And I'm not going to promise every week, but the release date videos I would like to keep up with every week because it helps me keep up with it coming out, and I think it might help some people because the way streaming and all this stuff is now, people will just drop release dates like week of. All of a sudden they'll be like, "Oh, this is coming out like on Friday."
It's crazy.
Yeah. So I can't promise I'm going to keep up with everything there, but like hopefully like people will have some help for it. So Horror Movie Yearbook on YouTube, and I've got the first video is up. In the technical, it will get better. Technically, I'm still
Tim. But you know what? Like you put the work in.
I haven't video edited in like 15 years, and like so it's like relearning everything. And so I screwed up the export, but all of the content is on there. Oh God, I hate. You know what I mean. I hate using the word content. I hate that word. But
we have solid content.
All of the important stuff from the video made it on there, but then it like cuts off at the end was all I was trying to say.
Well, Tim, I give you credit, man. Like, I show up and I talk.
Yeah.
Tim, you're always behind the scenes making it happen. So thank you.
Do you want to get in this time machine?
Yeah. So we're going back to
November 9th, 2018.
We
were doing the podcast.
My gosh, we were recording this.
Yes.
Weird, right?
We did not do this movie,
We haven't done so this is the first time I think that I can think of remember off the top of my head we've done like current movies before on the show, ones that are currently like out in theaters. I don't know that we've like gone in the time machine back to a year that we...
Real quick, I'm going to see.
Have we?
I don't. We probably have, but it's been
It's
very
been a
rare.
while, yeah.
I want to see real quick. I'm going to scroll back
to
here.
2018. So 2018 was a really interesting year.
It cuts off at 2020. Damn it. Yeah, sorry.
You're good. We did not record an episode on this show because we were still pretty firmly in the. We're doing like older films.
Yeah.
We've branched out a bit since then. Like we've gotten a little more open to doing like current stuff, but that was also the year my daughter was born. So
oh yeah.
We were pretty. I was pretty busy.
I was trying to do some. Oh, you know what? You can do it on the website. All right. So I'm gonna look up what we did in November 2018 as an episode.
The month this came out.
We did 2 movies.
All right.
So we were doing 1 movie at a time here. Because, yes, we had moved to it around that time.
Yes.
We did Split Second starring Rutger Hauer.
Oh, my God. Wow.
I believe on the date this came out, we did Split Second. And later that month, we did Splinter. Remember the movie Splinter with Shea Wiggum?
Okay, yeah.
Jill Wagner. I think I like
Fun
that movie a lot.
Yep.
Yes.
Great movie.
So that is what we were doing instead of Overlord. Going to see we did Split Second.
I did not see Overlord in the theater. What month did Overlord come out?
November.
Yeah, I saw no movies in the theater for the first year of my kid being, I guess, in the world. I don't know. So yeah, I missed this one in the theater. Did you see this in the theater?
No, I saw this. I saw this later on. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Here's what else was in the theater. We're gonna do this is our time machine.
Sure.
We're gonna do the movie The Hate You Give. Halloween. This would have been the first David and Gordon Green. Halloween.
Oh, I did see that in the theater though.
Well,
so I'm a liar.
but I think that was, but I remember that because you were but you had a couple each year, or that first year that you made sure you were going to go to.
We did get a sitter for that one because
I was going to say,
yeah, saw that too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Venom was number 8 at the box office this week.
Okay. Yep. Venom. Yep.
Number 7 was Nobody's Fool. I don't know that without seeing a poster for it. Number 6 was A Star Is Born, the Bradley Cooper one, where he pees himself.
I've seen that movie.
I just want to get another look at you.
Did you see it?
Yeah. I didn't like it.
He pees himself and then he kills himself. Spoiler alert.
Yes.
It's a bummer. The song's good.
The song is very good. Number 5, The Nutcracker in the Four Realms. I don't remember.
I remember this a little bit, but not enough.
It's is that like a Disney movie or something?
No. It's a kids movie, but I don't. Yeah.
I mean, I know The Nutcracker, but I thought Disney produced it.
I don't think it's Disney.
Okay.
I don't think.
The Girl in the Spider's Web.
This was the attempt at a reboot.
Oh my gosh, this was.
Yes, for the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Why did they try to reboot the Dragon Tattoo? The Dragon Tattoo only came out a few years before this, right?
Here's what happened. So they had the trilogy of movies with Numi Rapace, which was very popular.
Oh, yeah.
And then David Fincher made an adaptation of the first book with Rooney Mara.
Yep.
Which did pretty well. By the time that the studio realized Fincher's not interested in coming back and doing another one, and Rooney Mara's not interested in coming back, they went, well, we're gonna make another one. We're gonna reboot it. But the 4th book had come out at that point.
Okay.
We'll just do the 4th book, and then who was the
girl?
Ooh, I burped.
Who was the girl in the Spider's Web?
Yeah, it was not Rooney Mara. Got him. Was it? God.
Sorry, I'm one-handed, typing left hand.
Yeah, I'm trying to. We're both typing right now, by the way.
This is good. This is good audio.
Sick.
What's her? Oh, this was Fetty that did this. I forgot. Fetty Alvarez did this.
That's right.
Claire Foy.
Yeah. Okay.
What's she in?
She was very.
This is great audio.
At
No,
the time, yeah.
I was like,
anyway,
she was in Season of the Witch with Nick Cage. How about that?
They tried to reboot the franchise with the 4th book, which was a choice.
Lakeith Stanfield was in the Stephen Merchant. What a weird cast.
Why didn't they just do the 2nd book with a new actress? I don't know.
Hey, Hollywood. Number 3 was the movie we're about to talk about, Overlord.
Okay.
Number 2, Bohemian Rhapsody. This was the Freddie Mercury biopic. I saw this.
Me too. Didn't like it.
Yeah, I like Freddie Mercury.
Yeah. Didn't like the movie.
The number 1 is the Scott Mosier directed Grinch, the Grinch animated movie from a few years back.
I just saw that for the first time this last Christmas season.
Yeah, I thought it was cute. I just kind of liked it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know how many versions of the Grinch we need at this point. I'm kind of like, all
right.
Like, what more do we need to do? Like, we've got that traditional animation, the CG now,
Yes.
and the live action. Like, are we good? Can we stop Grinching?
No, you gotta make a sequel at some point.
You gotta make how
sure
the
they
Grinch
are.
stole Halloween, how the Grinch stole Thanksgiving, how the Grinch stole Easter. Like find a new Grinch story, because we're Christmased out. But no, it's a cute movie.
I do think there is like a Grinch stole Halloween.
Give me that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. We're not talking about the Grinch though. We're talking about Overlord, directed by Julius Avery.
Indeed.
This stars who's this star? Wyatt Russell is in this. Jovan Adepo and Mathilde Olivier.
Yes.
And we're just going to go with that pronunciation. So this came out, yes, in 2018. This is not the first time either of us have enjoyed this. This is the second time I've watched it.
Same.
What were your thoughts on this go-around of Overlord?
I liked it the first time I watched it, right? So I watched it back in 2018. It must have come out on Netflix or something, some sort of streaming, because I was not going and seeing movies regularly at that point in time. And I remember that there was kind of a build-up to it online because it was going to be an entry in the Cloverfield anthology.
Yeah.
And
that was the rumor, at least, right?
Well, no, it was.
Okay, was it originally?
It was originally designed as a part of the Cloverfield franchise of... I guess? I don't know what that is anymore.
Nothing.
No.
Yeah.
It was going to be that.
Okay.
And eventually, J.J. Abrams and the production team decided, no, it should just be its own thing. Which is wise, because I think the only way they would have tied it to Cloverfield was to have a post-credit sequence where just the Cloverfield monster just jumps up and eats the main cast. Because they've done that before. Well, since, I should say.
That they have, yes. Were you hyped? Were you hyped for the Cloverfield Paradox?
Yes, I was.
Yeah, it was right after the Super Bowl. We all are. Yeah.
They're like, it's. You can watch it now.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is awesome. And then I watched it. I was like, this is terrible. What an awful movie. And at the end, the alien just comes up, and I'm like, this.
You know what's bad when you're so hyped for something that, it's bad when halfway through you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so not hyped. Like I'm so sapped of energy. Like, can we get this over with?
It was apparent to me about a third of the way through the movie. I went, this has nothing to do with Cloverfield.
Right.
This was a shitty sci-fi script somebody bought, and they went, let's just slap the. Yeah. Anyway, Overlord. Not a Cloverfield movie. Thank goodness. I really enjoyed it the first time around I watched it, but this time I went, this movie kicks ass. Like, I don't know what. I always liked it, but like revisiting it, I was like, this movie's like legitimately kind of, for me, a modern like action horror gem. I won't say masterpiece, but a gem. Like, it accomplishes what a lot of modern horror is not able to, in the sense that it pays tribute and homage to a lot of what came before without pandering to the audiences of those movies.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like a genuine, like... It feels like the offspring of movies like The Thing. It feels like the offspring of video games like Wolfenstein. It feels like its inspirations are clearly there if you're familiar with the inspirations, but they're not like, it's not beating you over the head like some, I think, attempts at this do. It's great. I think it's great. The cast is great. Yeah, I really, really like this movie a lot. Yeah, beginning to end, as an action movie and as a horror movie, both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, my thoughts. So, I'll sum it up like this. Last week, part of the reason we didn't record is because my son was sick.
Yes.
And when my son gets sick, he gets congested, and it's tough for him to sleep alone, like in his bed, because that congestion settles and he wakes up and he gets pissed.
Tim, real quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, yeah.
It's not ending anytime soon.
No, I know. we've learned to deal with that. This wasn't as bad as the last time. It was 1 or 2 nights.
That's good.
But
congestion sucks.
Yeah, it does suck. And like a kid, a 1-year-old doesn't know how to deal with it.
No,
it's just,
when you wake up with congestion, like it sucks. You're like,
Yeah.
fuck, I'm not sleeping good. But like, you just go, I'm an adult. I have to like deal with this.
A baby has
They
no.
can't do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm in there with my son. We are doing like shifts, and like it's my shift. It's the early morning shift. Because I'm like, just let me get a few hours.
You're a morning guy.
Yeah, and I'm like, let me sleep at the first shift. I'll get a few hours. I'll get up with him, and I'll go down, and I'll sit in the rocking chair with him, and I'll hold him up so it settles, and he can sleep on me. And so I'm wide awake though at this point, and he's asleep. And he's next to me, and I've got my phone on the preferred way to watch Overlord here, but I've already seen it once.
I watched it on my phone too.
Yes, I've already.
No. TV and phone. I mixed it up.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, well, that's the thing with having a kid. It's and you know this too, is you have to get used to watching a movie is like reading a book. Like you have to you set down a couple chapters.
It's a 4-part series.
Yes, you watch a couple chapters. You set it down for a day or two, and then you
It's
come
like one
back.
of those fucking Marvel shows. Stretch that shit out into like, yeah.
So I got the Tubi up on my phone, or Pluto actually, because Tubi has Operation Overlord. Be careful, everybody.
That is not.
That
the
is
movie
not
we're talking about.
So I've got it up on my phone. I'm like, I'm gonna watch a little of this. If I fall asleep, I'll finish it later on. And I've got him on my phone. I've got him in one arm, and then like an hour later, I realized like I'm so fucking into this movie right now. Like I'm not going to sleep anytime soon. Like I stay up the whole night, like watching this movie on my phone, headphones in,
with homeboy.
Yes, with baby sleeping.
That's
like,
awesome.
Every
Dude.
once in a while, he wakes up. I'm like, go back to sleep. It's just Overlord.
You're good. You're good.
It's just, hey Wyatt.
The Nazis will lose. Don't worry.
Wyatt Russell's on. Yeah.
Your namesake.
Your namesake's got it. Don't worry. So this movie rocks, like you said. Let's get into it. Let's dig into it. That sums. I think that nicely sums up my feelings. We're gonna do what we do. We're gonna go through the plot.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna stop after every paragraph. We got a couple of talking points. I got another game I want to play with you.
Oh,
I'm like Jigsaw tonight.
You sure are. You're like throwing them out there. Like, just let's go.
This was a nice and mean one, too. So, on the eve of D-Day in an alternate 1940s where Executive Order 9981 is signed in 1944, a paratrooper squad, most of them in an integrated unit, is sent to destroy a German radio tower, jamming radio tower in an old church. Their plane is shot down and crashes, and most of the squad, including squad leader Sergeant Renson, are killed either in the crash or by Nazi soldiers and landmines. 4 survivors remain: second in command Corporal Ford, Private First Class Boyce, Private First Class Tibbet, and then Private Chase. All right, stop. This opening rocks.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Their use of practical effects in this movie really makes a difference. It would have been so easy for them to go the CG route, but like they use a ton of like. They're using squibs in this movie. They're using later on like practical makeup effects for some of like the I don't know mutants. I don't know what you call them.
Right. They're not really
Not zombies.
They're not. They're kind
monsters.
of. They're
I don't know,
zombie-ish.
Yeah. The it really helps the practicality of the effects, and the low budget helps too. The way they shoot the planes going down, and the decimation of these U.S. soldiers as they're trying to just get there, they're not even like starting the mission yet. They're like trying to get to the destination, and they're getting like annihilated.
Yeah,
there's like 4 of them left by the end of this thing. It's insane. It's sweet. It's the sequence rules. It's so good. I think immediately puts you in a sense of like. It feels very I I almost liken this movie to From Dusk Till Dawn. This movie feels like a very much a World War II movie in the way it's shot and the way this opening sequence plays out. It feels very Saving Private Ryan or Thin Red Line or like some of those really solid, World War II films. Obviously, it takes a turn, much like From Dusk Till Dawn, where you go, "Oh, we're like past that." But it holds up as a film in a war genre at this point in time. Like it feels like it's a solid war movie at this point. Yeah.
We're going to talk also about video games a lot, I think, in this review, or we're going to touch on them a couple times, but I want to point out this opening feels like either like the introduction cutscene in a video game or like a scene that a game developer uses to sell the video game. Like, not the gameplay trailer, but like the trailer they show off at whatever Game Awards now or whatever. Feels very much like that. Now, I just real quick, I'm going to rattle off. This is not like the only World War II horror movie ever made. There are plenty of them. Sure. I'm going to rattle some off here if anybody is interested. The Outpost, The Keep, Below, Frankenstein's Army, Blood Vessel, Dead Snow, I think Pan's Labyrinth.
Yeah.
That's kind of a horror fantasy. But then you also have Nazi movies like the Ilsa movies, Nazi films like Shockwave's Green Room, neo-Nazi like Green Room. Do you have a favorite of those? I guess it's a weird question to ask, but like what?
Green Room, I guess.
Yeah, Green Room is very good.
It's not a World War II.
I remember liking Below quite a bit. Are you a Dead Snow guy?
I would like to revisit Dead Snow. I'm not. Yeah.
I remember people being really into it, and I couldn't get into it.
Same.
Okay.
But I'd like to revisit that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of those two are
where's the Wolfenstein movie?
What's that?
Where's the Wolfenstein
I think
movie?
This is probably... we'll see. Maybe someday.
Like, that
video
feels
games,
like an obvious choice, right?
Yeah, like, at this point, like, to me, like, video games and, like, anime shows are, like, the next thing for Hollywood to start, like, cranking out like
I think
crazy.
we're going to get there with those being, like, the next big thing.
Like, they're going to be the new superhero movies at some point.
Yeah.
And
video games first, I think.
Me too. Yeah, I think.
Although, anime, we just had a bigger one, right?
Are you talking like the Netflix show or the
Avatar?
Yeah, they just did the last. Yeah, they did it live action. I think I'm not an anime guy. Well, I mean,
No.
I'm not like an expert. I've watched.
We're not far out from like them trying to do like Dragon Ball and Naruto. And
yes,
actually, no, the guy who did Shang-Chi is doing Naruto.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember the dude that was going to Area 51? He was going to do the Naruto run past everybody. He was going to like.
Some folks showed up. Not many. They did. They got arrested.
The team continues onward and meets Chloe, a young woman from the village where the church is located. She lets them take refuge in her house. Chloe lives with her 8-year-old brother Paul and her aunt, who has been disfigured by Nazi experiments taking place in the church. After Tibet and Chase depart to check the scheduled rendezvous site, a Nazi patrol led by SS, there's no way I'm going to be able to pronounce this name, Hopsensfrier.
Okay.
Waffner visits Chloe. Waffner sends his men away and proceeds to coerce Chloe for sex, threatening to send her brother to the church to be "quote-unquote" fixed.
This was nasty, by the way.
This was rougher than I remember.
It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't remember this. Like this kind of like
this was the part where I'm like,
scene,
the kid, the 1-year-old in my arms is asleep, right? He's not. I'm not beaming this into his brain, right?
Yeah.
He was.
I have a story, by the way.
Yeah.
Soon, not yet.
Boyce cannot ignore this and interrupts the Nazi officer. Ford is forced to follow suit and restrains Waffner. Okay, I'm going to stop here. What? Do you want to touch on that here? You want to touch on anything from this section of the movie? It is
Boyce is really cool because Boyce is one of those classic film characters that's like he's purely a good guy.
Yes.
And I miss that sometimes in movies. Like, I'm sure Boyce is fucked up in his life, right? Like, we all have at some point. Like, but in film, sometimes we lose out on those protagonists who are just good guys. Like, as far as what we see on screen, and there's some hints of Boyce being kind of like not the best in like basic training and kind of like a weakling and stuff, but like in our eyes as the viewers, Boyce is like a Boy Scout, and I like that. Like sometimes you need that hero or that protagonist, not hero, but protagonist who's like, he's the squeaky clean guy. Like, I like that about this. Like, they give us a hero who is like, if not infallible, just like a really good, good guy.
Well, and speaking of characters and art that was born out of World War II, he's Captain America. That's like
100%.
Yeah, and then
he's like this, like the pinnacle of.
And what are Captain America's? What's his crew called? Is it the Howling Commandos?
Yeah,
So,
but he's black, which is fun.
Yes. Yeah.
I like that.
Absolutely. Now one of it. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So no, I'll get into the continue. Yeah.
Well, the game I wanted to play is up next. I've got it here because Wyatt Russell also comes to the forefront around this point.
Yes.
His character. We kind of talked a little bit about this, you and I, off air one time. I think I texted you and I said he's a good Nepo baby. Nepo babies being, of course, like people in Hollywood, children of famous people
established
that are doing similar things in the Hollywood business. I have no issue with this. I know some people get worked up about this kind of stuff. I don't care.
If your parents were famous, you'd.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And honestly, some of these people I like. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to scroll through. Vulture has a definitive guide to the Hollywood Nepoverse.
Do you have a least favorite Nepo baby? Are we doing that right now?
Let's go through this. What I think I want to do here is
we're going to alienate somebody.
Absolutely. What I want to do here is we're going to go through this. We'll spend about 5 minutes, and I just want to do a quick better or worse Wyatt Russell.
All right.
We'll do that.
Better or worse than Wyatt Russell?
Yes.
Is that okay. Oh, God.
All right.
I'm going to offend somebody.
Okay.
Fuck.
You know what? Okay. Well, it doesn't have to be mean. Mason Gooding from the Scream movies. He is the son of Cuba Gooding Jr.
He's worse, but not because I don't like Mason Gooding, because he hasn't done a lot.
I like Mason Gooding.
Wyatt Russell's cast a wider net, and he's done a little bit more. Yeah.
Yes.
He did that show with Andrew Garfield. Wyatt Russell did.
What was that?
Under the Banner of Heaven, which is
was he in that?
Awesome.
Okay.
Dude.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yes.
And he's fantastic. So I'm going to go Wyatt Russell's better. I like Mason Gooding a lot.
I like Mason Gooding too.
I want to see him do more stuff.
Yes, we didn't mean that in a mean way.
No.
It's okay. We can be mean here. Did you know Steven Spielberg has a daughter? This is not... her name is Destry Spielberg, which reminds me of Destro from...
G.I. Joe?
Yeah.
Which they announced at CinemaCon. G.I. Joe
versus Transformers.
Crossover,
Lily Rose Depp. You like Lily Rose Depp? The daughter of Johnny?
I've seen her one thing.
Was it the Kevin Smith movie? Was she in Tusk? Or Yoga Hosers?
She was in Tusk. Did never watch Yoga Hosers, but she's in that too.
Yeah.
She wasn't very good. She's in that Weekend HBO show.
The Idol.
Annihilated.
Tom is a fan.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Wyatt Russell's better.
Yeah. I will watch that someday. It sounds very sleazy.
It sounds very funny. I'm gonna go Wyatt Russell.
Here's a fun one here. What about old Colin Hanks?
Ooh, that's tough. I like Colin Hanks.
I like Colin Hanks too.
I'm a big Orange County fan.
He has some of the Hanksian qualities. The other Hanks
We don't talk about Chet. Orange County was the first thing I ever saw him. I think it was his first major. He's great in that. I like Colin Hanks a lot. I'm gonna go Wyatt Russell though, because it just.
I'm going Wyatt Russell.
Could be recency bias more, but. This is the closest we've gotten because I like Colin Hanks quite a bit. He just hasn't done a ton of high-profile stuff. That's the tough thing.
He's done some Fox show he had for a little bit. What about Clont? What about Scott Eastwood versus Wyatt Russell?
Wyatt Russell. These are very comparable. Examples though.
Yes, son of kind of like a man's man.
Kind of a man's man, action star in a lot of ways.
Well, what's funny though is
Clont. What's his real name?
Oh my gosh,
Scott
Eastwood. Sorry, I got confused. But Kurt Russell, Snake Plissken, is a straight up parody of Clint Eastwood. A lot of it, yeah. So it's funny because Clint takes himself quite seriously a lot of the time. Whereas I feel like Kurt obviously does not take himself very seriously.
No. He played Santa Claus in those Netflix movies.
I like Jack Burton. Even Snake is kind of a dipshit at times.
Yeah, he's dumb.
He's stupid.
Great.
But
Kurt
he's
Russell
sweet.
has never played a full-on action hero. in like the Schwarzenegger, Seagal, Van Damme sense, like that guy who's like got it all figured out. Like, he's never played that.
Yeah.
Ever. Not once. Name one Kurt Russell movie where he's played that guy.
Right.
Hasn't happened. Like Tango and Cash, he's an asshole.
He's just doing varying degrees of Kurt Russell, but that's what we want to see.
Because he's great.
We want to see Kurt Russell. Yeah. What about Scott Conn? I kind of like Scott Conn, but
It's Wyatt Russell.
Wyatt Russell.
Yeah, I like Scott Conn, I guess.
Do you want to stick to men here? I didn't know Lewis Pullman.
He had a really solid Hawaii 5-0
He got that.
run.
He got that money, doesn't he? I like Ethan Peck, the son of Gregory Peck. He plays Spock on the new Star Trek.
I haven't watched it.
I think he's the second best Spock, and there
He's
are
the
times.
son of Gregory Peck?
He's the son of Gregory Peck. Yeah.
How old was he when he was having kids? Seriously, how old is Ethan Peck?
Dan Levy. This is tough. I don't think they're comparable.
No, he's fantastic.
Yeah.
I've watched the full show. It's fantastic with the stuff I've seen. But
I'm sticking to males now, basically. But this is this is a good one because I like this guy a lot, and I think he's done some really interesting stuff.
Sure.
I think this is a tough one actually. Jack Quaid versus Wyatt Russell.
Man.
I'm going to put this out there as we scroll through this. These are my two favorite Nepo babies, Jack Quaid and Wyatt Russell. And I think it's because they do have qualities of their dad, but they both do their kind of own thing.
Yeah, because like Jack Quaid doesn't need to do Scream. He could probably get a bigger. Jack Quaid's in Oppenheimer for 30 seconds. Like 90% of the named human beings in that movie.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer's annoying. Don't watch it. There's like all these good actors and they show up for like 2 seconds and they're gone. It sucks. Josh Hartnett's in it though. In a featured role. Anyway, man, this is tough. I'm going to go Jack Quaid.
I'm trying to so
I'm going Jack Quaid because The Boys has become like kind of The Boys has done something that I don't think is even remotely close to like typical, where it's become that like internet sensation where like everybody talks about The Boys, like new episodes out, new seasons out, whatever.
Yeah.
But also like I like it and I watch it and I'm like into it. So that's rare. You're the same way.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. We tend to reject shit that people just talk too much
gush about. Yes.
The Boys is deserving of.
Yeah. The Boys is very much yeah.
And he's really great on it. So
he's fantastic. He's the heart of that show, and I don't know if the show works without him.
It wouldn't.
Actually, I don't think it does.
No, it wouldn't.
Yeah,
it wouldn't,
because it would venture into that edgelord shit.
It'd be too much.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's his.
He makes that show work.
Yes.
Yeah.
So okay, I think that's
go Jack Quaid. Yeah.
I think that's good for now.
He's so good in Scream too. Oh my god.
So we finally found a Nepo baby we like more than Wyatt Russell. So there you go. You asked me who my least favorite is. I'm not a Dakota Johnson fan.
I'm not gonna say. No, you know what? Dakota Johnson sucks.
She does. You know what else?
She's insufferable in interviews.
Yes.
I'm just gonna say it.
I don't think she's funny.
Insufferable in interviews.
Yeah.
She's not a very good actress.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I don't like her. I don't like her.
I don't like her either.
Rooney Mara is another one.
I've liked Kate Hudson. I like Zoe Kravitz quite a bit, actually.
Yes, me too. Rooney Mara is not a Nepo baby.
This
but
guy.
Like, Rooney Mara is like a rich parent.
This Ice Cube's kid, get him out of here. Get the hook on this fucking O'Shea Jackson.
He's in one of those Monsterverse movies.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Too bad. That's my least favorite one, then.
He plays his dad in the movie where he bones his mom.
Maya Hawke. I don't really know much about.
She's cool.
Yeah.
She's great in Stranger Things.
I like her parents. I like Maya Hawke's parents. John David Washington. You know what? I kind of dig that dude. You know what? Speaking of good Nolan movies, Tenet. Tenet's sweet.
Never seen it.
He's excellent at it. All right, let's move on. Let's get back to business here.
What movie were we talking about?
Overlord.
That's right.
We just got distracted there.
Yes.
Attempting to reach the rendezvous point to look for Tibet and Chase, Boyce witnesses the Nazis burning disfigured village residents. He is chased by a dog and forced to hide in a truck carrying dead bodies into the church. Sneaking out of the truck, Boyce discovers an underground base that houses not only a radio operating room, but also a laboratory where the Germans perform various experiments on the villagers involving a mysterious serum and a large pit filled with black tar. Boyce takes a syringe containing the serum and rescues Rosenfeld, another member of the paratrooper squad who was captured alive. They escape through the base's sewers. All right.
This is like the sci-fi twist. It's not even a twist. Like, it was kind of in the trailers and stuff. But it's kind of the sci-fi twist where, like, you're like, okay, now we're not doing a World War II movie. We're doing, like, a World War II with a sci-fi, like, spin. There's more going on than meets the eye. And I dig that stuff. I like all the discovery of this, like, the Nazis are doing these secret, like, because the Nazis are doing some weird shit. Like, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it
didn't go this far because they were fuck-ups.
No,
but, like,
and a lot of it, too, was with the Nazis, too. I mean, some people believed in that stuff, but some of it was used as propaganda because the German people believed in the occult so much that, like, the Nazis knew it as a way they
played on that.
They could play on it. They could manipulate people. And also, Hitler was just like a paranoid psychopath at his core. Like, he was just like he believed like death rays were coming up from the ground to get him. Like, he was nuts. So he had his thoughts on it too. But yes, sorry, continue.
No, that's it. I mean, it rings true to what the Nazis were. At the very least, what they were broadcasting to the German people, like, if not actually actively trying to partake in.
Right.
And there's so many examples of like. In terms of cinema, there's so many examples of, like, using the Nazis' occultism as a jumping off point for conflict. I mean, Indiana Jones is all about that.
Yes. Yep.
Like, that's a great example.
Hellboy.
Yeah. There's so many examples.
Well, even honestly, even the Captain America: The First Avenger. I mean, they're going after the Tesseract in that. Yeah.
It is a classic kind of. Nazis are like the ultimate bad guy, right? Mm-hmm. In real life, like, you think of, like, when you think of bad guy, like terrible people, you think of the Nazis.
Yeah.
Maybe now modern wise, you think of, like, maybe Al Qaeda, I guess, maybe, but, like, Nazis are kind of like the quintessential bad people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not super hard to take that group of people and make them even scarier. You know? Yeah. Now they're monsters and aliens or whatever you want to, throw that way. Demons. It's easy to tie the Nazis into whatever villain you want to. Yeah.
And I think to tie it into, like, horror movies,
and it works.
Yeah, and I think one of the interesting things too, and people have said this, and I don't want to sound like, because you know me, I'm not someone who blames the art. But German horror movies, German expressionism, Dr. Caligari movies like that, they were very much a lot of that fed into the German psyche at the time too. Like,
sure.
People were consuming that, so that in some ways led to the German people. But it's not just them. Like, a lot of people believed in, like, this sort of thinking at the time, like the occult and all that stuff, and like, what do you call, like, not a.
They're not alone in that.
Yes, they weren't alone in that. But you're right. Like we said, it did help in some ways the rise to power of that group.
And when it came to films after the fact, or storytelling after, like, there's comic books, video game. We talked about Wolfenstein.
Yes. Comics,
video games, everything, like, decades past World War II.
Yes.
And the downfall of Hitler. As soon as you take the Nazi tag and slam it on something, it becomes even more evil.
Right.
Demons are scary, but Nazi demons are, like,
yes,
really scary.
But
robots are scary, but
yeah,
Nazi robots.
And a lot of this is, like you said, based in real history.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
When Boyce and Rosenfeld get back to Chloe's house, Tibbet and Chase have already returned. Waffner refuses to explain what the serum does, even as Ford tortures him. As the squad prepares to attack the church, Waffner attempts to escape and fatally shoots Chase. Boyce, having seen a dead man supposedly resurrected by the serum in the lab, injects Chase with a syringe. Chase is resurrected, but soon mutates, and turns violent. A scuffle ensues, ending with Boyce bludgeoning Chase to death. A patrol responding to the carnage arrives, and a shootout erupts in which the patrol is killed and Ford blows off half of Waffner's face. Waffner escapes with Paul as a hostage and back to the lab injects himself with 2 doses of the serum. All right, stop. Yeah.
The neck snap thing?
It's really good. That was practical.
It's practical.
Yes.
It works.
Yes.
That you want proof that modern practical effects work better than CG? Compare this movie to, which uses mostly practical, to the Thing remake, which is a nice example, I think, of like a nice counterpoint.
Mm-hmm.
That Thing remake does not hold up. Or sequel, I guess. Or prequel? I don't know.
Is that what it is?
What is it?
I think it's a prequel, right?
It's a prequel. Doesn't hold up. This movie holds up. It's insane. It's super cool. No, that's all I had to say. Like that head, oh God, it's nasty. Yeah.
We have talked a little bit about, we want to just talk a little bit quickly about video games influences. Wolfenstein is the one we've mentioned a lot. I have not played this. I'm aware of them. Have you played any Wolfenstein games?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. There is one Wolfenstein game that I think is very similar to this. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know which one it is. So,
I don't remember which one it is, but there's one, the Fourth Reich.
Okay. That
like
sounds right from what I was reading. Like
one of the later ones, not later ones, but like the kind of like resurgence of Wolfenstein. Yeah, there's very similar. But the Wolfenstein games have always been about like the you're the American hero fighting the Nazis who are experimenting with some sort of either scientific, some sort of technology based superhuman stuff, or some sort of like even more dark occult stuff.
Yeah.
So that's always the gimmick of Wolfenstein.
Right.
This feels very Wolfenstein. Yeah.
And I also think this is directed by Julius Avery, who did a movie called Samaritan with Sylvester Stallone a couple years ago.
Oh.
Yes, and he also did The Pope's Exorcist. Have you seen The Pope's Exorcist?
I've not.
He
rides a moped.
It's so sweet. This movie.
They're making a sequel.
They want to do a trilogy, and I hope they do.
Did you like it?
Oh, it fucking rocks.
Is it sweet?
It is a big comic book version of like an Exorcist movie.
So it's fun.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun. It's very much similar in tone to something like this too.
Nice. Good.
But I think too we have seen in the past probably decade or so, like we have seen a generation of filmmakers influenced by video games, and I think you can tell the movies that they like. This at times feels exactly like a video game because like he's going back to certain checkpoints, almost like a Metroid game where you have to like go back to
find the thing that you had to access the new thing.
Yes. And some of these like I think the longer takes help it feel like a cutscene, like a video game cutscene.
There's a boss that comes back multiple times and he gets bigger and nastier than the last time.
Yes. So yeah, you're right. It feels like kind of like a Resident Evil game like that
does.
too. I think
of Birkin from Resident Evil 2.
Yeah.
Where he keeps coming back and he's
So I think of this movie, I think of like video game movies that aren't based on video games, like this movie. I would put like the Crank movie in there.
Yeah.
You know what movie always reminds me of a video game we talked about a little bit is Kong Skull Island for some reason.
It does. 100%.
It feels like a big beat 'em up video game.
Yep.
Scott Pilgrim, I think, is obviously very influenced by video games. So, yeah, there you go.
Agreed.
All right, let's see where we are here.
The best non-video game movies.
Yeah. I would put this one up there.
Yep.
Boyce proposes infiltrating the base and destroying the tower from the inside, which would also destroy the laboratory. The other privates support him, and Ford grudgingly agrees. Splitting up, Rosenfeld and Tibbet launch a frontal assault as a distraction while Ford, Boyce, and Chloe enter the base using the sewers. Boyce and Ford plant the explosives while Chloe looks for Paul. Chloe finds Paul, sends him back to the village, and successfully kills a mutated test subject who corners her. She returns to the village where Tibbet and Rosenfeld are pursued by the base's defenders. Tibbet is wounded while shielding Paul from gunfire. Chloe kills the remaining Germans and treats Tibbet's wound. All right, stop there. Anything to say?
I like how many survivors we have in this movie.
Right.
Like I like the fact that like even the guys who you expect are going to be like Tibbet, you expect he's going to be like, he's kind of an asshole like the whole time. Usually this kind of movie, like he's done, like he's going to get killed at some point. But he makes it through. And he's kind of like, you kind of he earns your trust and appreciation as a character. I like that.
I like this movie too because Boyce and Ford, Wyatt Russell's character, they both have arcs in this movie.
Yeah.
Two main characters. Now, some of the characters are kind of static and two-dimensional, but
sure.
that's fine. That is fine. What it is. But Boyce and Ford go through a journey in this movie, and they do it together, and it's kind of neat to see. Like, Boyce learns, like, I can't be a Boy Scout all the time.
Nope.
And Ford kind of learns, like, I can't just be a prick all the time, like, concerned about one thing.
He goes completely against orders.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, yep. All right. Now, Waffner. Now mutated and possessing superhuman strength and resilience, overpowers.
He's fun, by the way.
yes. Overpowers Ford and impales him on a meat hook. Waffner reveals that the serum was made by using the villager's body to distill the ancient power of the black tar, which had been running under the village for centuries. So that's kind of what they, like I mentioned earlier about like how Hitler thought they were like underground, like radio waves, like something underground coming up. Too.
Well, this is very Resident Evil.
Yes.
Too, like very like. There's some ancient, nasty, natural thing in the earth that somebody uncovered, and now, like, if you inject it into a person, it makes them into some sort of...
Yeah.
Yeah. Feels very Resident Evil 4 to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Black Tower running on the village for centuries. The aim was to create immortal and invincible soldiers to serve the Reich. As Boyce distracts Waffner, Ford pulls the hook out and injects himself with the serum to heal his wounds. He holds off Waffner long enough for Boyce to set off an oxygen tank, which finds Waffner falling into the tar pit. As he begins to mutate, Ford orders Boyce to leave him behind and detonate the explosives, believing neither side should possess the serum. Boyce complies. And...
I love that bit.
Yes, it's great.
It's great.
Yeah.
That's
what I was talking about with Ford. Yeah,
he goes, "No, fuck this. This shouldn't go anywhere."
Yes, like, he's like saying like he is choosing to sacrifice himself.
And he's kind of heartless. Not heartless, but he's very mission based.
Mission based. Yes.
There's no like. Okay, so and so died. That it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Our mission is this.
But and this he comes around to like.
And he goes, "Nope.
This is not. I'm going to sacrifice myself for the greater good. That's what this whole.
Okay. Yep.
That's what this whole war is about."
Mm-hmm.
Boyce complies and narrowly escapes as the church and jamming tower collapse behind him, killing Ford, Waffner, and the test subjects. He joins the others as a radio announces that the D-Day invasion has concluded in a victory for the Allies. Yeah. I'll do the ending here in a second, but the original script, I believe, was more horror-oriented. The third act are different. I think this is a little bit more action-oriented.
Yeah.
The third act, I think I would like to see a different version of that just to see it, but I think this works well enough. This is one of the things where I can see both types of movie working there.
Sure.
So
it works for me, but yeah, I'd be down to see what the alternate version was.
I would assume that early draft was the one that was going to be tied to Cloverfield in some way.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
It could go either way because, like, you could have a script that was written with the intention of being a Cloverfield film, or it was a script that was written and they went, "We're going to tweak this and make it a Cloverfield film." Like, I don't know. I don't know what it was.
I like the second Cloverfield movie, the one with Goodman and
because it establishes like a theme.
Was that meant to be a Cloverfield movie? That was something that was done like...
I don't think any of them were.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Paradox was not meant to be.
Yes.
Yep. And my understanding is the Goodman one was not either.
Okay.
And it kind of... But it's still not really.
Right.
Like the ending of the movie doesn't tie into the first Cloverfield.
No,
movie.
and I remember people being annoyed by that. Some people were...
I was a little bit. I was like...
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like, is this like? But then it became like this is an anthology series about some sort of alien thing intruding on. And I didn't like Paradox, but I was like, all right, at least like it maintains the theme until that fucking stupid monster jumped up.
So here's the final bit here. In his report, Boyce credits Ford for the decision to plant the bombs inside the church. The commanding officer questions Boyce regarding rumors of an underground lab under the church. Boyce, sharing Ford's view, denies seeing anything worth digging up. The officer seemingly accepts the story and informs him that they will be reassigned to C Company as the war continues. So there you go. The end of Overlord. A very fun movie.
So much fun.
Yes.
Yeah. Great.
A blast.
If you haven't seen it, see it because it's great. Yeah.
Yeah, don't steer clear of Tubi.
Excuse me.
Or because if you Google it, it'll say it's on Tubi, but it's
on Pluto TV.
It's on Pluto.
It's got ads, but
it's also, I think you can rent it everywhere.
If you don't want ads, rent it. Yeah.
Yep. So spend a couple bucks if you don't want ads.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. Tim, what are we doing next?
We're gonna do something different and fun.
It's going to become. I knew you had it picked out because I could tell.
We talked about this off air. You forgot.
Wait,
we're doing a horror TV yearbook thing next week.
Oh my gosh! Yes. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. Well, that was recent.
Yes. Well. I had mentioned. I said we should do it for Tiny Terror, and then
that was recent. Yeah. So yes. I got. Yeah.
Let's do the main episode.
I'm 2 Coors Banquet tall boys deep. You got to forgive me.
What are we
doing, Tim?
We've kicked around doing something called First Episode, Last Episode.
First and last, yes.
We are going to watch the first episode of a show and the last episode of a show, and show...
nothing in between.
Nothing in between.
Now, we may have seen some stuff in between at some point.
Right.
To be fair. But...
I have seen way less.
I've seen some stuff. But we're judging it on the first and last, and then we're going to fill in the blanks of, what happened here.
We are watching the first episode of The Walking Dead and the last episode of The Walking Dead.
This is an 11-season show.
Where did you... do you remember where you jumped out?
I don't.
I jumped out on episode 4.
Of the first season?
Of the first season,
Jesus,
yeah.
Tim.
I'll go into my thoughts on the TV show.
I jumped out much later than you. But
here's what's funny. What might throw this off is then I think I said this on the past episodes a couple months ago. I had all my shows were gone, and I had nothing to watch at times. So I started watching the Daryl Dixon show, and
how's that?
It's pretty good. It was kind of sweet.
I heard it's pretty sweet.
It's Daryl just wandering around France. It kind of rocks. So,
cool.
But so I kind of have an idea. But even because they hint or they kind of say what happens at the end of The Walking Dead, but I didn't understand any of it.
Okay.
So, but you don't need to. You know who Daryl Dixon is. Even I know who Daryl Dixon is, and I never watched the show. I jumped out very early of the show. I'll get into my reasons why on the next episode, but I've read some of the comics.
I watched the first 4 seasons as they aired.
Okay.
And then I watched a couple more on Netflix. That's about it.
Okay, so you were jumping out
I know
halfway.
some stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm going to kind of... I don't remember half the shit that happens.
This is going to be fun for me because...
You have no...
I have no clue who any of these people are.
It's going to be fun. First episode... Daryl's not even in the first episode, I don't think.
I don't think so either.
And I'm assuredly in the last one.
Yeah. Yes.
He's the lead character, I think, I assume.
Yeah.
I don't know. By the time that's done.
We're about to find out.
I'm pretty sure Rick leaves the show at some point. But I don't remember if he dies or if he...
Well, they just did him, right? They just did
No, he doesn't die. He just leaves the show.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of
Because they just did the show with him, right? Was that him?
I've
heard that one's good, too.
The Ones Who Live.
Maybe that's the way. I think that might be the path forward. It's kind of 6 episode miniseries, basically. Kind of 6 issue comics with this. Just do
weirdly enough, it doesn't work for Marvel, but it works for
right for Walking Dead. I don't know
because I've heard Dead City's fun too.
Well, you know what? I do think we can.
This makes sense. It does.
I think with horror shows, they work better and shorter. And yes, yeah.
Give me a snack. I don't want the full meal. Yeah.
Yes. But
all right, awesome. All right. So first and last, Walking Dead. It's going to be interesting, to say the least.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care and stay safe.